Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. I'm Dr. Faiza Shaheen here with the lecture number 13 of the course Economics and Financing of Education, EDUC 4124. We were talking about lifelong education in Pakistan, unit number 8 of this course. So we disconnected here that what is the major concept of lifelong education and what are the important terms associated under this concept. So we will start from the next point. Today's lecture agenda is about historical background of lifelong education with reference to the foreign countries, and at the last in 8.4 we will see that what is the background of lifelong education in Pakistan. So there were so many steps taken by different governments, whether those were in foreign countries or those were in national context. They took some steps to promote the lifelong education in their countries. So reviewing the definition of lifelong education, we will see that what is the concept of it. It was that one can learn education or any skill at any point of his or her age. Life goes on, and education is also an ongoing process. It does not stop at any point of age. So what was the developmental procedure in different countries? We will see it with their history, and at the last we will see it in the context of Pakistan. So starting from lifelong education in Sweden, it says 2 important steps were taken in Sweden to implement the process of education commission. Number 1, to justify the development of outreach centers and to provide the study leave provision. So these were the 2 steps taken by the Sweden government. It helped to increase the number of students in outreach centers, and provision of evening classes at municipal high school was made. So these were the steps taken by the Sweden government. In 1975, legal provision of study leave for workers was made. However, it failed to provide paid study leave. The spirit of lifelong education has been realized with the provision of this legal right. They say that whatever the steps were taken, majorly those were focused with these 2 points. Number 1, to justify the development of outreach centers. If we justify, then outreach centers can be developed, and all the people who have a need of these centers can reach these. दूर दराज के लोगों को भी तालीम की सहूलतें मुहैया की जाएंगी स्वीडन में. Number 2 was about study leave provision. If we provide study leave provision, then the workers who are already serving somewhere, they can not only avail this opportunity but also they can learn different skills under lifelong education process. So they say that these 2 provisions, these 2 steps were taken, but study leave was not paid study leave. So even it was not paid study leave, even then it contributed, and some of the goals were realized. Next is lifelong education in France. France made more headway with the lifelong education than any other country. The development in this respect were in 1968. Through the orientation, the universities were asked to promote facilities for adults. Whereas in 1970, the universities, in junction with industrialists and trade unions, proposed that adults should be able to enter universities. In 1971, new laws were passed that recognized technical courses coupled with work experiences as well as a qualification for entry of higher education. In 1973, a law to regulate correspondence was passed. So all these steps were taken to promote the lifelong education in France. Correspondence education is about that you do not attend the classes regularly, but through correspondence, through sending emails or post, you can have a connection with your instructor, and you can learn whatever the qualification you want to earn. Next is lifelong education in Yugoslavia. So the objective of lifelong education laid down in Yugoslavia were 4, and we will see that how far they were implemented. Offering equal educational opportunities to people in different ages. So they do not made any distinction regarding the provision of education among different ages of people. Prolonging the individual's active career and raising his labor output. It was another step guaranteeing the adaptability of education to the social needs of highly qualified people or manpower. So they say it was their objective that highly qualified manpower will be given with their social needs. Giving better opportunities for integration of education in self-management systems. In this context, study leave with full pay is encouraged by the legal right. Even then, only about 12% of workers have been enrolled. Although they provided the opportunity to have a study leave, but only 12% people availed this opportunity in Yugoslavia. Next is, under foreign country, we will see the lifelong education in the UK, United Kingdom. Many elements of lifelong education already existed in UK. Furthermore, courses at the further educational colleges are full-time or part-time, evening or daytime, vocationally or academically oriented. The UK Open University in 1979 enrolled about 62,500 students ranging between the ages of 25 and 45. In addition to the Open University, private correspondence courses in the UK are said to cater to about 500,000 of adults. So beside the Open University, they were also promoting the private correspondence courses education in UK. This component of lifelong education, providing facilities of education at any age, already existed in UK. However, there is no legal provision of paid study leave for workers. Even then they wanted and they tried to promote it, although it was already existing in the system of United Kingdom. Now in the coming 3-4 slides we will see that what is the historical development of lifelong education in Pakistan. Many elements of lifelong education already exist in Pakistan as regards to the provision of second chance to those who could not continue education at an earlier age, because we know that the concept of lifelong education is about that one can learn at any point of his age. It is not necessary that one can learn only in the old age. We can say that whenever you feel a deficiency in your skill and ability, even if you are providing your services in some organization and it's associated with the services, you can learn and improve your skills and knowledge. So lifelong education in Pakistan is already existing, but some steps were taken which will be seen by the reviewing of the history. The government of Pakistan has established an open university on the pattern of the UK Open University, which is known as Allama Iqbal Open University, AIOU, started its admissions in 1975 and 1976. The main objectives of this university are to provide educational facilities to those who cannot leave their homes and jobs, who are already engaged somewhere but they want to continue their education. They can go to this university. To provide facilities to people for their educational uplift. To their educational uplift and to grow themselves, they can have this opportunity to learn from this university. To provide facilities for teaching and learning. So Allama Iqbal Open University, this university has come into existence and response to the requirements of those who fail to benefit from the formal educational system. The people who cannot take a formal setup of education, or they have some problems regarding their formal system of education, they go for this university. This university has prepared programs and developed its courses according to the needs of such people who are already engaged in some jobs, or somehow they could not continue their education in formal settings. They go for this type of education. The Allama Iqbal Open University has also developed vocational courses for the semi-educated, which is rural and urban population, so that the farmers, technicians, tradesmen and semi-skilled persons may benefit from these courses. So the target population of this university was mainly about beyond the restriction of any area, whether rural or urban. Majorly it was started to provide vocational courses to farmers, technicians, tradesmen and semi-skillful people. Many students in Pakistan discontinue their study after matriculation. The AIOU has developed a stream of general lectures for BA and FA examinations. There is also an MA degree program. The Allama Iqbal Open University has also provided teacher training programs, B.Ed and M.Ed degree programs, so that working teachers are the most inclined towards these university programs. Another large proportion of university students are housewives who can improve their qualification without disturbing their family life. So you can see that many people who are relevant from different fields and age brackets, they go for this university for their qualification. So under this lecture we will see an overview. We have gone through the concept of lifelong education, and in fact we have related it with our previous lecture, which was lecture number 11, in which we saw that what was the concept of lifelong education and what is the difference between lifelong education and adult education. Then we have seen that what is the historical background of lifelong education. First of all, we have seen that what is its background with regard to the foreign countries, in which we have seen the lifelong education in Sweden, France, Yugoslavia and UK. And lastly, we have seen the historical background of lifelong education in Pakistan. So it is the end of your chapter number 8. I hope you have understood the major concepts and points taught in this lecture. Thank you.